Good morning, buddies. Once again, we are starting with a fresh new day with a new video. Science, class 4, chapter 1, part 3. This is the continuation of the video of the first chapter. Now, today, in this video, we will discuss about aquatic plant. What is aquatic plant? Generally, we say that plants that grow in water, those plants are called as aquatic plant. Now, dear children, the adaptation that we find in aquatic plant is totally different from the adaptation that we have seen in last two videos in terrestrial plant and in so many areas like desert area, mountain region. The plant that grow over there, the adaptation that we have seen in earlier video is totally different from this aquatic plant. Generally, the plant that grow in water are spongy in nature, very light, and they have some kind of waxy coating on their leaves so that they may not get wet. Now, they have adapted in this way to survive totally in the water. The plants that grow in water are called as aquatic plant. Now, under aquatic plant, there are three types of plants are there: floating plant, fixed plant, and underwater plant. There are some plants which grow in water, but they are not submerged. They are floating in nature. Only their root part is under the water and rest of the part is above the water. Let me draw a picture. Suppose this is the water level, and here you will find the floating plant and they will grow the root over here. One special feature of these plants are they have got the fibrous root system. They have got the fibrous root system. Their root is not fixed under the bed of the river. They are floating and the leaves are above the water so that they may absorb the sunlight and continue with their photosynthesis. These types of plants are called as floating plant. One more types of plant is fixed plant. Means those are also the aquatic plant, but their root is fixed under the bed of the river. It is in this way. Suppose this is the water level and the plant is over here. They will grow and they will fix their root under the bed. In the ground below the water. Here, the plant will float along with the current of the water, but here the plant cannot float. Wherever the plant grow, they are fixed over there because their roots are fixed in the soil, in the ground, under the water. Those plants are called as fixed plant under aquatic plant. Now, one more type of plant that we find under the heading of aquatic plant is underground water. In these types of plant, the full plant, the whole plant is under the water. Suppose this is the water level and here is the bed of the river. Now this plant will grow over here. In this way. Now you can see and you can find out the difference from the diagram that I have drawn over here. This is a simple diagram. This plant which have got the root, but the root is not fixed under the bed of the river. It is fibrous root and the leaves are above the water. These types of plant are called as floating plant. Now these types of plant where the stems and the root are fixed under the bed and leaves up above the water. These types of plant is called as fixed water plant. This plant, they can move from one place to another with the help of the water current, but this plant will not move. They are fixed where they grow. And here also the root are fixed under the bed, but the whole plant is submerged inside the water. These types of plants are called as underwater plant. Now you may think about what are the names of the plant. Let me give an example. Now, under floating aquatic plant, under floating plant, the example are, there are two types of examples. Many examples are there. Only I will discuss about two. That is water hyacinth and duckweed plant. If you want to see the picture, you may see it from the book itself. This is a kind of water hyacinth and this is the duckweed. Now if you want to see or know more about these types of plant or want to see a better picture, you may refer to the Google, type over there the name of the plant and go to the image section. You will see more picture, a good quality picture over there, and you will understand it. So the two types of example under floating plant are water hyacinth and duckweed plant. Now what about the fixed plant? The example of two fixed plants are lotus and water lily. Let me rub the blackboard. Now the example of underwater plant are hydrilla and tape grass. Now these are the example of three types of aquatic plant. After this, we will see some other types of plant which are also under the adaptation in plant, and they have adapted in such a way which is totally unique and totally new way of adaptation. Let me rub the blackboard. Now once again, under adaptation, we have seen the plant that grow on terrestrial area. Now in this video, we have already seen the plant that grow in water, which are called as aquatic plant. Now one more type of adaptation in plant we find is insectivorous plant. Those plants are called as insectivorous plant. And the fourth one will be non-green plant. Is it clear to you? Now, insectivorous plant. These are the special types of plant. This, the name insectivorous comes from the word insect. Yes, the plant which eat insects are called as insectivorous plant. small types of organisms like insects, pests, frogs, and other things like that. It is those things are eaten away by this plant in order to get the nutrient. Those plants are called as insectivorous plants. They eat such kind of things to get the nutrient from them, because first of all we have to see where this plant grows. These plants are mostly found in wet, damp, humid, acidic soil, where the soil is very less in nutrients. Means a place where these types of plants are found, in those places the soil is deficient of nutrient. There the soil doesn't have any kind of nutrient in the soil. The soil is acidic in nature. Too much acidic component are found in those types of soil. The climate is wetty climate, lot of humid, damp kind of condition are found in those types of areas, and the soil is also wet. So this, in such kind of condition, this kind of plant grows. Now if they don't take their nutrients from those kind of insects, then how they will stay alive? So in order to stay alive, in order to survive in those harsh conditions, they have adapted themselves and they get the nutrient from the body of other organisms like those small insects, pests, and other frogs and other things. Insects like honeybee and all, flies and all, butterfly and all. From these types of insect, they get the nutrient in order to survive in those harsh conditions. Example of this kind of insectivorous plant, you will find it in your book itself. Now, I will also give you on the blackboard, called as example are Venus flytrap, pitcher plant, sundew, and many more examples are there. Now, you may be surprised that where these kind of plants are found, we can't see over here in our areas. Now, where these kinds of plants we can find generally? See, mostly these types of plants are found in North America, Australia, yes, but some of them we also find in India. In India, in Meghalaya, near the Khasi Hill, at the foot of the Khasi Hill in Meghalaya, there we can find these types of sundew plant. And also we can find in the area like Sundarban, where it is totally a waterlogged area. There also we can find these types of plant. But Venus flytrap and pitcher plant are generally not found in our country. It is found in America, that is in North America and Australia. Let us talk about non-green plant. As you have seen, the name suggests non-green plant. That means the leaves of those plants are not green in color. From here we can understand, if it is not green in color, that means the leaf doesn't contain chlorophyll. So they do not have the power to produce their own food. They are not capable to produce their own food because they are non-green. The leaves are not green in color. If it is not green in color, that means it doesn't contain any chlorophyll in them. Now, if a plant doesn't contain chlorophyll, then how they will produce their own food? How they will survive? They have, for such condition, for such situation, they have adapted themselves to survive in those areas where they grow. Now, how they get the nutrient? They grow on other living organisms. They are not capable to make their own food, but they grow on other living organisms and extract the food from those organisms. They do not make the food from the soil because they are not capable to do so. They are parasitic in nature. They are parasitic in nature. So what is the meaning of parasite? The parasites organisms are those organisms which draw the food from other living organisms. They have no, they are not capable to make their own food. The organisms which draw the nutrients from other living organisms are called as parasitic in nature. So they are also parasitic in nature. Example, you can see mushroom. They are also a non-living plant. They draw their nutrients from the other organism. Many examples you will find, like toadstool. Yes, it is given. It is also given in the book. You can see it very nicely. Just open page number 10, and here you will see the example of the non-green plant, like over here, mushroom toadstool. You have seen it? Apart from these two examples, you will get many examples like red Japanese maple, purple leaf palm. Now, they grow such kind of root. Now, how they extract the food? They don't have got any kind of sucking tubes and all. Now, how they extract the food from the other living plant and organism? Now, this non-living plant, when they grow on some other living plant, they develop a special kind of root that is called as penetrating root. They penetrate, they push their root inside those living plant and extract the nutrient, just absorb, suck the nutrient from them. And in this way, they fulfill the requirement of the nutrient in their body. Now those sucking tubes are called as, they are also a kind of root. It is kind of a sucking tube. Those roots are called as hostilria. These special kind of roots are called as hostilria. Means they have adapted themselves in such a way that with the help of the special features of adaptation, they may survive in those areas, in those habitats where they grow. So those kind, now what is the how they have adapted? They have adapted by developing a special kind of roots. Those roots are called as sucking roots, and those sucking roots are scientifically called as hostilria. In this way, they extract the food from the other living organism and fulfill their requirement and survive. So, in this video, part 1, part 2 and part 3, we have already covered each and every point in detail. Now, I have not given you the example. Let me give the example of this non-living plant. Example will be mushroom, toadstool,